Hey, what up, y'all? My name is Junt. I'm the community manager for Vancrupt Games. I'm going to show you how to create and build a Pavlov Shack map from start to finish. Well, basically start to finish. I'm not going to show you how to install Unreal Engine. That should be very straightforward. You're going to need an Epic Games account. You're going to install version 4.21.2. It's very important. Once you get that installed, go ahead and head over to the github.com/vankruptgames/pavlovvr-modkit. You're going to download the mod kit. It's going to be the zip file, and then you'll get these files here. What I like to do is put projects in their own folder, and so we'll copy these files and put them into my Junt Shack Tests project, like so. We're going to open the Pavlov project. That's going to generate more folders, more files, more fun. When you open up Pavlov Editor for the first time, you're going to get stuck at 45%. This is normal. You're just going to wait it out. It depends on your computer. If you got a faster computer, it's going to be faster. If you got a slower one, it might be a really long time. It's going to ask you if you're making a Pavlov Shack mod. You're going to say yes. If you have Steam installed on your computer, make sure it's not on or logged in. Otherwise, it's going to maybe try to build a Pavlov map for Steam. You might get some errors in the engine. Just go ahead and close them out. That don't matter. I'm going to close out of these. Don't care about that. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our project. First, I like to open the content browser, file tree, whatever you want to call it. You're not going to see these at first, so it's important that you go into your view options down here and show plugin content. Custom map tools content is going to include all the goodies, especially the materials you'll be using for Shack. It also is going to come with the blueprints for maybe CTF points, CTF settings in your BP loot spawner, which lets you spawn a gun. For example, every 5 seconds to 6 seconds, I want to spawn a sock. I can't type. Let's try this again. How about M4? That's much easier to type. I don't know why I'm struggling. Anyways, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. We don't need to worry about that at this time. We're going to delete our atmospheric fog. The project does not support it. Same for our player start. Our spawns are going to be different. So once we have this established, let's go ahead and get started with creating the foundation of the project. First, we're going to go to Window and Pavlov Workshop. It's going to say, hey, is this a new map? You're going to say, yes it is. And my name's Junt, because we're going to go by the moniker author_map name or project name. So I'm going to do Junt and then Junt's Love Shack. Or actually, we'll just call it Love Shack, because I like the B-52s. I'm just kidding. I don't really like B-52s. And we're going to create the project. It'll create this folder called Custom Maps, svr_junt_love shack. This is our definition file. This is important. This is going to kind of point things in the right directions, and basically what Pavlov is going to read as far as the metadata and stuff of your map. We have the unique ID. We're not going to change this because this is the file name that we have for our project. The label is what name is going to show up in game. So I don't want it to say SVR Junt Love Shack. I just want it to say Love Shack. Alright. This is the first version. Anytime you want to publish or release a new updated version of your map, you're going to want to increment this by one. This will tell the server that whoever has a new map, whoever is on an older map and is joining a server with a new map, they need to update to the newer version. The server will then deliver that new version to the user, and everybody's fine and dandy and happy. This is also where we're going to put our thumbnail and the quest map file. So this is not going to be a custom map. This is going to be search and destroy, gun game, and not capture the flag. We're going to ignore all these other ones. I'm going to save that just to establish the project. Next, I'm going to create my thumbnail. The thumbnail needs to be 512 by 512. Alright. I'm going to use some stickers, I guess. Where's the stickers? Here we go. So let's give it a happy sunshine. That's fine. Hey, look at that. Pavlov Shack. Very nice. Look at this. Very pretty, okay? I'm going to save it. And you can call it whatever you want. I typically call it thumb. So, going to get my thumb, just drop it into my project. Oh, one thing to mention. Everything that you have for your map needs to be packaged into this folder. So that includes your meshes, your materials, your sound and audio files. Everything needs to be in this folder. If it's outside that folder, it's not going to get packaged with your map, and it may break the map. So I added new content. I'm going to save it. Yep. And oh yeah, I forgot to save my map file for the first time. Pavlov Shack. Open up my definition file and link my thumb in here. If I can type. There we go. So now I got a thumbnail. It's going to show up in game. People are going to see the picture and be happy and be like, hey, I recognize that. That's Pavlov Shack. Alright. So we're pretty much established here. Next we pretty much need to build up the map. And let me just throw down some things. Block or whatever. You're going to want to use, oh, what's the thing? Right, is this it? Yeah, okay. You're going to want to not use BSPs. BSPs are more expensive to render, especially for Shack. So you'll want to definitely use meshes. And so I'm just going to make a basic map. It's not going to be very fancy, but it'll get the job done for the sake of this video. And let's just kind of, let's just say, I don't know, 10 by 10, whatever. We'll just do that, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So we got our map. This is great. I love it. It's got great sight lines, verticality. It's very challenging. So what we need to do next is add materials. Your materials need to be based off instances of the included materials we've got here. So let's go ahead and create a quick material. I'm going to do 1:1, 256 by 256. Go away. Go away. Alright, I get it. 256 by 256. And you want to be very cheap because it's you know, it's the quest. You got to be very cheap with your materials. So I'm gonna get some nice rocks. Hey, look at that. Got a nice rocks texture. We got some rocks. And what else? Some wood. Wood is good. Now this is not going to look great. It's not going to match end to end. This is just for demonstration purposes. I'm just making some quick materials. Woods, sure. It's good practice to stay organized. So textures. Oh, these are brushes. That's not great. What am I doing? There we go. I was going against what I was saying. Yeah, you don't want brushes. You want meshes. So let's make a couple of these. I don't know. 3, sure. Oh, why am I using the computer? I've got a whole mouse here. Jeez. Alright, looks great. Looks great. It's great. We've got a great map. I gotta keep my thumb there. This is just me trying to clean up. So I'll go here just as a good practice. Meshes. Put my cubes and floor in there. And then I like to do lighting. Game logic. That's where my spawns and stuff will go. Skylight, light source, and sky sphere. Oh, my reflection capture, that can go back into the lighting. Okay, so I'm going to just show you how to mess with the sky sphere a little bit, because this took me a while to figure out. You're going to detach it from your light source. It's very important if you want to lower the horizon. And we'll make, no, let's not do it at night. Let's do it at like dusk or something, I don't know. Where'd it go? Sun height, here we go. Looks great. Very pretty. Much orange and pink. Okay, so we're gonna drop in our Pavlov game logic. This is absolutely required. And it can go anywhere, it doesn't matter. It just tells the game how to do technical things. And once we drop down our Pavlov game logic, it's very important to link it to your definition file. I'm going to throw that into my game logic. I'm also going to plop down some spawns. And they're called Pavlov spawn. Okay. Got 3 spawns here. This is going to be the blue team. Blue is 0. Red team is going to be 1. 0. I'm sorry. If you make it -1, that could be either or. So both can spawn with that spawner. If you want it to spawn only team or dynamic, that's for like TDM, like game modes. Special, this is what you're going to use for search and destroy. You're going to use 1 per team. So for example, you do not need to spawn 4 special spawns for S&D. It's going to go off of 1 spawn, and then it will spawn 4 other people to the right, or 3 other people. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So for example, if I have this one pointing towards this way, it's going to spawn them to the right side. So I'm going to make another special, point them this way, and do this. Cool. Take my other spawns here, my other TDM spawns. Okay, now we need a bomb. I'm going to look for the bomb. Pavlov bomb spot. I'm going to drop that in. It's going to give you the letter and then arrow that tells you how to face it. If I can grab the dang thing. There we go. It's a good practice to put these 150 Unreal meters. Sometimes when it's hard to judge scale, what I like to do is just throw in a Pavlov spawn, and that gives you an idea of the height. It's not a good judge, you know, people are different heights and different sizes in Pavlov, but it's just a good thing that I like to do to kind of judge it. People have other methods, you find yours. So there's our bomb spot. Let's prop in a B bomb spot. I'm gonna flip this around. Oops. Why can't I grab the thing? Okay. What am I doing? Oh, duh. So we're gonna mark this one as bomb spot B. You can have as many bomb spots as you want. It doesn't really matter. You can just split them off, count them B and A. If they get called later or part of game logic, that can play an important role. So far we got our bomb spots, we got our spawns, we've got our Pavlov game logic. Let's drop in some materials. So for Pavlov Shack, we need to create instanced materials. And how to do that is you go to the default included materials, and we're going to create a material instance. I've got my woods, and I got my rocks. So we have two instance materials. Remember, we have to move them to our project because they're going to be in this project. This is getting messy. I'm going to create a materials. We'll just call them mats. That's fine. Okay, we got our two textures, or not textures, materials. And then we've got our textures, which we have not added yet. Let's go ahead and do that. So we got our rocks. We're going to check diffuse map. Diffuse is basically the color texture. We're going to choose our rocks. And then we're going to save it. And then we got our rocks material. Here's our woods. Excellent, excellent. So this is going to be my rocks material. Hey, look at that. We got a gravel pit. Now let's get some of these wooden boxes. Woods. Oops. Nope, not that. That's not going to work. Not for Shack. Shack, very, very, you need to be very efficient. So, hey, look at my map. It's a shack. It's Junt's Shack. And I think it's the best map you'll probably ever see. So we're going to bake the lighting. Do we have everything? Let's go over the checklist. We got game logic. We got our spawns. Let me put the spawns in the game. Actually, what I like to do, spawns, and this is just for humility's sake, blue and red. I'm going to double check that is the team ID blue. This is team ID red, so we're going to change that to 1. Very important that you change the team IDs. You can always hover over things if you need to get more answers. So special will tell you this is for search and destroy. We got our meshes, we've got our lighting. Oh, let's add some lights. So say there is a roof, a rough, as some people would call it. And where's my expander thing? There we go. We got a rough over this thing. So that's going to cast a shadow. So we want to put a light. It's good to use spotlights instead of point lights. Point lights look kind of... Point lights are basically spotlights, but they're just all like pointing in every direction anyway. If you want really good lighting, it's good practice to use spotlights. So this is like a pure white LED. We can kind of make it a little amberish if we wanted to kind of look more like an incandescent light. Did I say bite or light? Anyways, you can adjust your inner cone, your outer cone. I kind of tend to go outer cone maxed out. But hey, we got our light for our shade. That's gonna be important. Another thing is when you bake the light. Well, here, let's just do it right now. Because the shadows, all right, preview. So we'll build our map. This is gonna bake the lighting. It's in preview mode. It's gonna be really quick. It's not that expensive. And what do you know? We get some shadows. Our spotlight did not cast a shadow. Oh, because it's pointing. Okay. So this is the direction of the sun. Let's just try this again. Now, if you find that your shadows are way too dark, you can go into your skylight settings down here in the indirect light intensity, and you can adjust that, and that will help with your dark shadows, because sometimes if you have very enclosed area, it's like pitch black and you can't see anything. But you can adjust that with your indirect lighting intensity. Same with your light source light intensity. You can adjust that as well. We're going to build our light again. We're going to get some errors, that's fine. Usually it complains about the BOM, but just don't worry about it. It's because it doesn't see the mesh right now. But you'll see it up in game. So let's go over our map once again. We've got our spawns, we've got our game logic, we've got our lights. Oh, another important thing, I forgot this. Make sure your lights are all set to static. You cannot have stationary or mobile. Make them all static. Another thing I can do to light source, I can kind of change it to a little more sunlight, kind of light colors instead of pure white, even though sun produces. This is like all test. I'm kind of rambling. In any case, we have a map. It's a map. We're going to build it again. Make sure when you have a big map that you kind of get everything settled, because these light builds can take a while, especially on the specs of your PC. Hey, look at that. We got our little spotlight. We got our little things. Cool. So, your reflection capture. This is what light reflects off the guns. So this is very important to have in your map. Make sure you have it. Sky sphere. This is your skylight. You can replace this if you want. Just make sure. Well, I don't know for Shack, honestly. Just roll with the default one if you don't know what you're doing. If you're using a custom one, you might want to do an inside-out mesh with an instanced material, and it might need to be emissive. That's up to you. You'll probably figure it out. I'm not an environmental artist. I'm just here to show you how to get a project going. We got our bomb spots. We got, ooh, let me put that into the game logic. Let me put this into the lighting. So we're good to go, I think. Go back into our definition file. We're going to link our Love Shack .map file. Everything looks good here. Our compatibility is right. I don't have CTF points, and I don't have CTF settings into the map, so not going to worry about that. We need to place a kill volume underneath the map. So if people, a Pavlov kill volume. So if people fall out of the map or through the map, it does kill them. It also, if you want to create traps or pits or whatever, for whatever reason you need to kill the player if they enter this volume, it's good to have this tool. So if anyone goes outside the map, goes and falls into this block, it will kill the player and force them to respawn or wait until the next round, depending on what game mode or what have you is set up. Another thing that you can do is merge your things together. I've already done that, but basically what you'll do is if you have like meshes that are grouped within a sight line, because you want to have your map broken up into chunks. For example, if we had a map like this, we would want 4 chunks, because we don't want to render the whole entire map for everyone. We just want to render what they're looking at. So if the player is looking this way, we don't want to render all this stuff. So we want to have them in visual chunks so that you can be as efficient as possible with your map. So what we're going to do now is, okay, it didn't duplicate the things. So say we wanted to group these two together. I've already merged them together off camera. But we're going to go to Window, Developer Tools, and then Merge Actors. That all looks great. Merge Materials, yes. Point at 0, and I replaced the source actors with the merged one. We're going to do that. And I like to, you call them blocks 2, whatever. It's great. It's great. And now we have these two merged, and they're all one mesh. This helps with performance. You don't want too many things being too, and you want to group them by materials so that it's easier on the engine to render. So you can do them in chunks of different materials and props. Just you want to keep things as efficient as possible. So let's one last thing I want to show you is that you need a nav mesh bounds volume for your bots to move around the map. So we're going to plop this in here, and if you press the P key, you can see where the bots can kind of navigate around, move around, and stuff like that. When they hit things they're going to collide with, of course, they're not going to be able to go through walls or something like that. Okay, we are finished with the layout of our map. We've got the nav mesh, we got the kill volume, we got the spawns, we got the bombs, we got the game logic. The game logic has been linked to our definition file. Since we did some layout changes, we're going to bake the lighting one more time. You always want to rebake your lighting in Quest, especially whenever you've moved some meshes around or done anything else like that. I'm going to click out of the map errors. It's complaining about the bombs. That's fine. The reason why we want to rebake the lighting after moving meshes, because in Quest, if you move a mesh without rebaking the lighting, they will go into the game unlit and will be pitch black. So that's the reason why I'm doing that. Now that it is baked, I'm going to save the project, save the files, save the fishes, and I feel like we're ready to build and cook our map. We're going to ignore these two windows. These are for Steam users and Steam map makers. We're just going to go to the server map tab, make sure Android is checked, build for the selected platform. While that does its thing, you can go to the output log, check for errors that come up if they do. If you see any red text with errors, you can always look up the issue and ask around, see what kind of went wrong, and go from there. Successfully built. Great. Everything's great. I love it. So we're going to find our files now. We're going to go into the actual project folder. It's going to be under Saved Cooked Depot, and there it is. There's our stuff. Let's look at it. 2.5 megabyte. I love it. The most efficient map you've ever seen in your life. So you'll take these files and kind of zip them up, give them to your server owner, or you can test them offline. I highly suggest you test them offline. You'll connect your Quest. Your Quest should show up here in the right or the left side. It'll mount itself as an internal storage drive. You just kind of navigate the files. On the root, there should be a Pavlov folder, and inside that will be a folder called Maps. You just drop this folder into there, and you should be able to load it up into your Quest offline under the Hunt game mode, which we're about to do. Okay, we're loaded up in Pavlov Shack proper. Let's go ahead and test an offline mode using Hunt. Going to go through a maps, and oh, look at that. There is our beautiful thumbnail. Let's go ahead and launch it. And here we are. We're inside our new map. Everything looks great. My bomb spots are a little low. Can go and fix that later. Testing the kill volumes, of course. Kill volumes work. It kills me. Wonderful. I think we did a great job. Of course, let's test the bot nav meshes, make sure those work. And they move around. That's great. If they don't move around, you know that they are, the nav mesh is not set up if they just stay stuck and all that stuff. Looks like we're good to go. I can't wait to see what y'all come up with, and look forward to playing with you.